I go back to my room. Saber is still asleep, and the house is peaceful, as if there's nothing happening. It rained today, but what about tomorrow? I look up at the clouds slowly passing overhead. Unlike me as it is, I pray for a sunny day tomorrow. And like me as it is. Moonlight 1. And it's Valentine's Day. Then, the next thing I know, it's morning. Pathetic. I couldn't sleep a wink. I sigh and turn off the ringing alarm clock. Today, no matter what she says, Saber and I are going on a date. Because that's how you get a girl, right? You simply force her into doing what you want. My first priority will be to take her to plenty of places, so she'll have a chance to enjoy herself. I've been trying to search my mind for a perfect spot for a date, but before I could come up with anything, my alarm went off. I turned the alarm clock on just in case. As hard as I tried, I still couldn't think of anything last night, so I borrowed an alarm clock from Tosaka, figuring I might have to pull an all-nighter. Not that it's done any good. Come to think of it, I've never been on a date. I sigh again. That's sort of a problem. I'm nervous enough, plus I didn't sleep, but I think the worst part is how shocked I am that after staying up all night to think about it, I couldn't come up with a single thing a girl might like. Fine, I'm going to leave it all to chance. I'm going to take her all over the place, and she'll learn what it's like to have a good time. I'll just take her to cute shops. Well, I feel like there's a fundamental flaw in that plan, but I've already made up my mind. There's nothing else I can think of, but what the soul boils down to, is that today is going to be a day packed with fun, and it's going on until. And it'll go on until Saber said she's had enough.
では、イリアスフィールはまだ目を覚ましていないのですか？ええ、まだ眠ったままよ。あの様子なら目を覚ますのにもうしばらくかかりそうだけど、今日はそれが幸いしたわね。
Yeah, no doubt she probably would want to tag along.
イリア、起きてればシローの後について回って邪魔してただろうし。そうですね。今までのようにシローに同行されてはたまらない。昨夜はああなってしまいましたが、今日からは本気で残るマスターを探すのです。シローにはイリアスフィールに構っている余裕はありません。ああ、そっちの邪魔じゃないんだけど、まあいいか。
Gremlin smirk, man.
私が言っても仕方ないし、これはシローとセーバーの問題だし。
Tosaka laughs mischievously.
私とシローの問題ですか?
We finish breakfast, and it seems like a good time to leave. Saber is ready to look for masters, but I'm determined to execute my plan as well. I just need to be a man and tell her. About that, Saber, we're going to go to the neighboring town today. If you have to get ready, I want you to do it now.
マスター探しですか? それでしたら隣町ではなく郊外の方が確実だと思いますが。
That's not what we're doing. The two of us are going to go out and have fun today. So there's no point in us going to the suburbs.
Huh?
Saber freezes. I try to ignore the sound of Tosaka trying and largely failing to control her laughter behind me. I'll get her for that later.
シロ、それはどういう意味でしょうか? 遊びに行くとはシロとリンではなく、その
The fucking faces Rin's making. If I'm going, you're the only one who can come with me, Saber. Tosaka is going to stay back and watch Ilya, so she has nothing to do with this.
何をバカな。私とシロが隣町を探索したところで成果は薄い。そのようなことをしても意味がない。一体何をしようというのですか、あなたは。
Saber is pretty clearly frustrated. I kind of figured something like this would happen, but things are looking even bleaker than I thought, since she clearly thinks we're going out to town to search for masters. This is rough. I'm being really clear, but you still don't get it, Saber. I'm trying to ask you on a date. I ignore Tosaka's stare as I speak to Saber. I'm not sure how much Saber understands.
そのような言い方ではわかりません。具体的な内容を提示してくれませんか、シロ。
The faces Rin is making right now, I swear. She looks even more irritated. And suddenly, it's like a switch flipped in my head. There's no sense in beating around the bush here. It'd be best if I were just blunt with her.
シロ、町に出るというのなら従いますが、デートをしようとはどういうことなのか説明してください。
Well, a date is defined by a courtship between.
いくらこの時代に慣れていると言っても、私にも知らない単語はあります。あまり専門的な略語は使わないでほしい。
It's not really a technical term. I can teach you if you don't know, but a date is when someone goes out and has fun with a girl. That is possibly the worst definition of a date I've ever heard. Like, sorry guys. If you go out with that guy you like, no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count as a date. Girls, if you're going out with a guy, that doesn't count as a date either, even though it counts to him. But you lesbian in the group, if you're going on a date, if you're going, and that totally counts as a date. Even if you're just being chill, even if you're just being chill friends. My comedic definition joke was better than this. Holy crap. Saber goes completely still. She's dazed now, muttering. When I nod yes, Saber looks even more confused.
言葉の意味は分かりましたが、意図が全く分かりません。そんなことをする理由は何ですか？
I just remembered I should probably bring my stopwatch up. I wasn't expecting this question. I mean, I know what the point of a date is, but I know that I'm on the spot, and Saber wants me to explain it to her face. Is, well...
ああ、もうそんならしくない単語を使うから勘違いさせるのよ。デートなんて言わずにもっとわかりやすい言葉で説明すればいいのに。いい？セイバー。デートってのはね、要するに合いびきのことなの。
I want to Google through that. That's a term I don't hear too often. Tryst, a private romantic rendezvous between lovers. Okay.
Shiro は遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
And she goes right back to the gremlin smile. I cough loud. Tasaka may be right, but I'm pretty confident that a date and a tryst are two different things. I mean, from what I read, not really. But I don't think it's worth mentioning. From her reaction, it looks like Saber fully understands what a date is. Exactly, Saber. We're going to head to town, and we're going to fight. We can't... and we're not going to fight. And we can't fight during the day anyway because there are people around. So there should be no problem with us spending the day however we want. However we want.
それはそうですが、しかしあまりに意味がありません。そのようなことをしても、シローには何ら得るものがないのではありませんか。
That's not entirely true, and I wouldn't mind if it were. I've decided to spend the day with you, Saber, so don't worry about me. We're going to go out to town, and that's that. Nothing you say will change my mind, Saber. I look her straight in the eye. Saber ponders for a while, looking serious.
では、私が反対した場合でも、シローは一人で街に出ると。
That's a weird form of logic. Yep, I'm definitely going, and everything I spent all night thinking about will have been, or everything I spent all night thinking about will have been a waste.
それでは、私が付き添わないわけにはいきません。サーバントとしてマスターを一人にすることはできないのですから。
I mean, you almost died like what, 5 times now? I'm not going to let a sickness happen again, you fucking moron. After taking a deep breath, Saber answers in her usual manner. Okay, that could have gone better, but at least I managed to convince her to come out. I mean, she didn't say she was bisexual yet, but sure. I shouldn't sweat the small stuff at this point.
いってらっしゃい。お土産よろしくね。
As we step outside, I make a rude gesture to Tosaka, and she made fun of me since she made fun of me until the very end.
それで具体的にはこれからどうするのですか、シロ。
Well, let's just head to the neighboring town. We'll catch the bus at the intersection. The hilly path is unusually quiet. It's a little past 9 in the morning on a weekday, and the town is starting to come alive. But it must be a little early to be heading out somewhere. There's no one on the road. It's like we have the road to ourselves. Now that I think about it, I don't feel guilty about skipping school anymore. I've been cooped up in the house these past few days.
当然でしょう。シロはマスターなのですから、おいそれと出歩く方がおかしいのです。
Saber's tone is sharp. You know how many times I almost changed you to your fucking room? Saber following behind me is nothing new, but it feels different today. I feel this immense pressure directed at me, and that's putting it mildly. I can tell Saber is going to be tough to handle. We get on the bus. It would have been stuffed with people about an hour ago, but there's only a handful of people using it now. The only people on the bus are old women and with children, and so it feels like we have the place to ourselves. Saber, let's sit in the very back. I call out to Saber, who for some reason tries to sit in the front of the bus, and lead her to the wide seat at the back. Wow, I don't remember the CG being a thing. Saber quietly looks out over the passing scenery. I steal a glance at her and realize how crazy I am for what I'm trying to do today. Taking the bus to a nearby town is an ordinary thing for me. But here, in this ordinary place, something extraordinary is happening. Well, I find myself questioning whether I'm actually doing this whole date thing, and my mind starts spinning and whirling like some complex cube puzzle. Ah! Crap, I'm getting really nervous. It's kind of getting out of control. I take a deep breath and calm myself so Saber won't notice. But then, and I know this is stupid, I take another look at Saber. Gah. My heart skips a beat. I hardly recognize Saber as she sits next to me. Or, well, no, it's less that I don't recognize her than it is the situation itself is unrecognizable. It makes me realize that she is something else. She is different. I didn't realize it when we were at home. This ordinary, everyday life seems to me like it has become something entirely new and different just because Saber is here. Her golden blonde hair, her green eyes, those alone are enough to make her overwhelmingly beautiful. It hadn't really crossed my mind since I never had much to compare her to. I remember the first time I met Saber. I must have been avoiding her because I was too embarrassed to admit that I was admiring her. No matter what Saber says, to me she's a girl before she's a woman. I don't know how to react to her. I didn't understand my feelings for her. I have to admit, I know I sound stupid. I've developed trust and affection for Saber, past the point of no return, and now I've decided to go on a date with her. The order of events is all backwards. Now as I get off the bus, I realize what a big deal it is to go on a date with a girl I like. But that's okay. I can only give it my all, so I can't very well take it all back and can cower in fear now. So Shiro does that thing guys try to do in the movies where they stretch their arms and try to sneakily wrap it around the girl. I calm myself and try to shake off my ridiculous apprehension. The bus crosses the bridge and drives towards the development area and its masses of tall buildings. I breathe out, almost whistling and readying myself. The familiar bus announcement tells us that we're now arriving at Shinto Station. It's only 9 in the morning, but the area around the station is already busy. Most of the shops don't open until around 10 o'clock, but cafes and smaller bookshops are starting to open up. There are already more people here than you'd expect in Miyama, even if it were a weekend. We get off the bus, and Saber looks around the area, displeased. I don't blame her. She hasn't really agreed to the whole date thing, and everyone is staring at her now. I doubt she loves that. Crap, I should have figured this might happen if I brought Saber here in the morning. But this discomfort is bound to follow us around all day. The only cure for this I can think of is Saber enjoying herself so much she forgets all the awkwardness. All right. I smack my fist in my hand and look over at Saber, and she looks back at me like I'm turning into like I'm going insane. Saber, before we start, is there anywhere you'd like to go? We came all the way here, so we can do whatever you want today.
さあ、別にこれといって興味のある場所はありませんから。そもそも私にそのような選択をする知識はありません。
Are you sure? Well, this is going to be tough. Then I really do just have to wing it. If you don't want to go anywhere, and I don't know where to go, things are looking kind of grim.
まさかとは思うのですが、何の計画も立てていないのですか、シロ。
That's exactly what he's saying, Saber. Well, I have some plans, but they're a little light on details. For the time being, let's just hit up as many shops as we can. That's kind of hard too. I know some stores I'd enjoy, but I have no idea what girls like. Because, you know, girls are all this... girls are just this amorphous mass that share one mind. Honestly, if I'd known this would happen to me someday, I'd have been smart to go out with a girl from class at least once.
反論するわけではありませんが、シロはどうかしています。休憩を取ろうという考えはまだいい。ですが、その休憩すら明確な予定を立てていないとは何事ですか。
Crap, now Saber's in lecturing mode. This is the first time she's ever given me such an earful outside the dojo. She wasn't into this from the start, and I figured all the people staring at her wouldn't help. But I didn't realize it'd be this bad.
かねてから あなたの見積もりの甘さには一言したかったのです。あなたは周りのことは目に入ってるくせに、どうも自身に対する扱いが存在です。結果、齟齬を埋めるためにあなた自身が対価を払わなくてはならなくなると聞いているのですか、シロー。
I am. Bottom line is that I don't understand, is that you don't understand why you're here, right, Saber? I know the place I'm going to take you will bore. The places I'm going to take you will bore you, so I don't blame you for not liking it.
いえ、そういうことではなく、私は今はこのようなことをしている場合ではないと。
I know that, but I'm not. But I'm also ignoring that since I've already decided to spend all day with you on a date, Saber. I'm not going to change my mind, no matter what you say. That's that. I look straight at Saber. The only thing Saber can do is look back at me in shock. But if you have something to say, I'll at least hear you out. I'm sure you have things to say, and I'd appreciate it. And I appreciate it if you told me now. That way we won't have to worry about holding back later on. If you say you don't want to go on a date with me, I'll think of something else we can do.
いえ、何もそこまでする必要はないと言いますか。私はその。
It's odd seeing Saber at a loss for words. Well, if you have nothing to say, then let's go. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to get mad about where we go, since you don't have any requests. Maybe we should go to an aquarium. I hear those are popular. That sounds good. So I grab Saber's hand.
シロ、文句はありませんが、何も手をつかむ必要はないのではありませんか。
Huh? Well, we're wasting time here, so we're going to run a bit, and I'll guide you to where we're going. So follow me and don't let go.
いえ、こんな状態ではその。
Because even when he gets it, he still has to be dense as a brick. I start running without waiting for Saber's reply. I've been pretty clear with Saber, so no more being pathetic in front of her. For now, I just need to escort her to every place I can think of. Saber's hand in mine, I run through the crowd. Apparently, Saber's given up resisting, as she's just following obediently. It's a little before 10 o'clock. We have 2 hours until lunchtime, so I'm going to make the most of that and really knock Saber's socks off. Those 2 hours were like a storm. First, we tried a bouquet I normally never go to. Then we tried our hand at bowling while I taught her the rules. I couldn't find the aquarium, but we fed birds at the park. For a moment, I thought that was Arkwood from Tsukihime. Like, what the fuck? We visited at an interesting antique shop at the end of, and that ended up being a lot of fun. And I maintain that not going to the movie theater was the right choice. Anyway, I spent the whole time taking her places as I figure a girl might like, and it was 2 hours before. And it was 2 hours of failure and defeat. However, I tried to spin it. The day wasn't really shaping up to be a date. It felt more like a battle to the death, in which the first person to give up loses. Whenever I look at Saber, she acted exactly like she always has done. Once in a while, she would fall so quiet, I would start to worry if she was truly angry. Her lack of reaction made it clear she was not having fun, which pushes me to try even harder each time. And so I ran around the city, desperate to make Saber smile. But noon came before I actually accomplished anything. And with Saber's reminder that it's lunchtime, I decided to take a short break. However, what is this place? I can't help but blurt it out as we sit down.
昼食なら川沿いの喫茶店がおすすめよ。
That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. So I did it. She suggested and picked this restaurant, but I never imagined it would be so pretentious. I take a look at the menu. Luckily, the menu has Japanese translations next to all its foreign text, so I can at least figure out what all the dishes are. The problem is that I've never seen I've never even excuse me. The problem is I never even heard of any of the dishes, and the prices are outrageous. Where are we, on Mars or something? I have no idea what to order. I stare at the menu and growl.
シロ、ここには昼食を取るために立ち寄ったのではないのですか?
Saber looks and sounds a little concerned. Yeah, but this is really not what I expected. I look up, and what I see is Saber looking like a cornered rabbit. Saber?
落ち着かないのなら、今だけでも屋敷に戻りましょう。シロが用意してくれるものの方が私は好みです。
Does that mean you want to go home?
いえ、屋敷に帰りたいわけではなくですね。今日はひどく緊張したので、普段より疲れてしまったのです。
Really? Oh, I thought about going back out after we had lunch and a bit of a break. But if you're tired, maybe we should take a longer break here.
まさかそのようなことはありません。疲れたというのは語弊がありました。正しくはですね。
What's the word I'm thinking about right now? Exasperated? Saber stops. Fortunately, I'm the only one who hears a faint squeak of her stomach. She could have just told me she was hungry.
申し訳ありません。つまり、昼食は早めにしてもらえると助かるということです。
Every Saber man. Got it. Yeah, it may not be interesting, but let's order whatever looks okay here as we... let's order whatever looks okay here so we can get our food quick. It should be easy if a light snack is all we need. I order two things that seem like lunch dishes and we quickly eat. While I'm drinking my after-meal coffee, blech, I start thinking about what to do in the afternoon. What I learned this morning is that physical stuff like bowling is no good. Saber is extremely competitive. That in itself is good, but Saber looks already. But Saber's looks already draw enough attention, and when she gets like that, well, she stands out even more. She keeps obliterating the bowling alley. We went through three different bowling alleys before deciding to quit. After we finished the game, Saber got sulky because of all the attention she drew. So we're going to avoid physical activities. Hey Saber, I'm going to ask you again. Is there anywhere you want to go?
私にですか? いえ、特にはありません。私ではわかりませんから、このままシロにお任せします。
Saber lifts her teacup as she speaks. She ordered black tea to have after her meal, and it seems she enjoys its flavor. I hardly serve black tea at home, and even if I did, it'd be cheap tea bags. It'd just be cheap tea bags. Saber must not have been satisfied with the drinks I've been serving at home, since it looks like she prefers black tea. Well, I should be more mindful of that starting tonight. Saber isn't doing much. She's just drinking her tea. She doesn't seem particularly happy, but she doesn't exactly look bored either. I guess she's just being Saber. As sunlight pours in through the window, Saber sits up straight, gracefully sipping her teacup. It's the first time I've seen her do this, but it seems so natural. It's like I've seen it a million times before. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Saber, at least as I know her, is always serious. Is only focused on wielding her sword, on fighting. Oh, I get it. It's only natural. I only think of her as the girl who takes up her sword. The moment she sets her sword aside, Saber is always calm and gentle. The scene doesn't feel new or unnatural to me because it's just her being who she is. No matter how skilled a swordsman she is, Saber is just being normal. Or wielding her sword isn't what makes her exceptional. I once thought that I was dreaming that. I once thought while I was dreaming that she was suited for fighting. I don't think I'm wrong there. No matter how great her sword, no matter how great her sword skills are, no matter how many battlefields she's been on, as long as she was really herself, she couldn't have found the battlefield to be a comfortable place to be. That's why this is how it's supposed to be. Saber is not wielding a sword. She is just resting and unwinding. She belongs in the serene setting. Nothing changes in the afternoon. I take her to every shop I can think of, and Saber follows quietly. At least it's not as awkward as earlier in the morning. Either I'm getting used to the situation, or Saber's given up. She's still quiet, but the more I watch her, the more I notice she looks either angry or not angry, which is really confusing. Whenever I see Saber coming out of a store looking excited, I feel the sense of accomplishment. It really makes me happy. Then, after a careful consideration of what Saber might like, I'm not certain, but I determined this is the shop likely to please Saber. Saber stands in front of the store, mouth agape. I'm not sure if her shoulders are trembling because she's angry or excited. I just can't tell. Do you think I'm a toddler or something, you fucking moron? I hear this is the biggest stuffed animal shop up in town. I've never been here since men aren't allowed. Obviously, it's not that men aren't allowed in the store. It's just that most of the customer base are girls, so there is this unspoken rule about men not going inside. Besides, there are only girls in the store right now. Saber, with her beautiful blonde hair, is drawing attention, while I'm drawing glares from being a guy. They must all be trying to keep me out of their sanctuary. I can't agree more. Even I don't think guys should be in a store like this. Toxic masculinity. Well, we come all the way here, so don't hold back. Let's take a look around. And do you have a favorite animal, Saber?
その主に獅子やヒョウなどは愛らしいと思っているのですが、おかしいでしょうか。
I mean, she already said as much. I find myself turning away and fighting not to laugh. I'm not sure why Saber liking lions is strange.
シロ、今の行為は不自然です。何か言われのない怒りを覚えるのですが、私の気のせいでしょうか。
You know, I can bring out my sword whenever I want, right? No, sorry, I couldn't help but laugh. A lion is just so perfect for you.
人の趣味を笑うのは良くないことです、シロ。それにライオンも悪くありません。
And I said I'm sorry. To make it up to you, I'll take you somewhere good, so don't get mad. I try to fight down my laughter and walk into the store. Let's see. It looks like stuffed animal toys. Looks like the stuffed animal toys are over there. And it takes about an hour to get from one end of the store to the other. I watch in silence as Saber stares at the stuffed animals, while I worry about the dozen or so sets of prying eyes staring at me from around the store. I've never been so exhausted in my life as I am today. The terrifying thing is that we've only made it through half of the store. Saber frequently is paralyzed. That is, she often stops to stare at a stuffed animal. Even after all this time, we're only halfway through the store. Saber seems very interested in the other half of the store, so I guess I'll just hang around while she does what she wants here.
シロ、どうしたのです？ため息をついて。歩き通して疲れてしまったとか。
Yeah, I'm just a little tired. I usually don't get tired so easily, but today it's special. I guess I should be careful about doing things I'm not used to doing. I heave a sigh. I don't mind people staring at us when we're just walking around, but I'm uncomfortable with it when we're in this girly shop. When you're mentally drained, the first part of your body that feels it is your legs. What about you, Saber? This must be your first time in a store like this. Let me know if you get tired.
確かに私も落ち着きませんが、シロの方が居心地が悪そうです。ここだけではなく、先ほどの店もその前の店でもそうでした。まさかとは思うのですが、シロは自分で行きたくない場所を選んでいるのではないですか？
Suddenly, those words dispel all the worries and mental exhaustion I felt earlier. Yeah, honestly, I might have chosen a bunch of places I wouldn't normally go.
やはりどうかしています、シロ。慣れないと分かっていて、なぜこのような場所ばかり選ぶのです。それではあなたが。
It's the sort of place girls like, right? I was the one who made you come out with me, and it's your day. Besides, it's not so bad since you're with me. I'm with a beautiful. Since you're with me, I'm with a beautiful girl. So I don't look completely out of place. All the stairs directed at me aside.
何をバカな。武装していなくても。私はサーバントです。いかに非戦闘時だからといって私を女性扱いする必要はありません。普段通りサーバントとして扱ってください。
You're the one being absurd. You are a girl. I'm not trying to treat you differently today, unless you feel like I am. She's bewildered. Saber's mouth hangs open, as if she's only just now realizing this.
いえ、同じです。あなたはいつも通りのシローでした。
See, no need to worry about me. So let's keep going. And if we're going to buy your favorite thing in here, we still have to see the other half of the store. I take Saber's hand. She offers no objection as I tug her along.
そうでした。初めからそうだったのに、今になって気がつくなんて。
You always were such a fucking moron. She murmured to herself, sounding dazed. The uncomfortable day passes by in a flurry. Saber never laughs, not once during the whole day, so neither do I. No part of the day was particularly memorable, but neither was there any painfully boring aspect. Basically, nothing significant happened. The way it went, maybe Saber would have been happy if we stayed in the dojo and trained together. But today wasn't all that bad either. Even if it didn't end up being all that exciting, and I should be proud that I at least managed to take Saber around. After the war is over and once everything goes back to normal, I don't want to look back on all this and realize that all the times I spent with Saber was in combat. Even if this entire day was stupid, she needs to spend some time doing something other than fighting, or there's no point in her being here. So yeah, I should be proud of myself. The end is near. When everything is done, and when there's no need to fight anymore, if Saber can look back at this moment, that's enough for me. We walk back home. Just as we were trying to get on the bus, Saber finally voices a preference. The winds are picking up. The brilliant sunset paints the bridge red. That should be one word. Saber notices something, stops, and looks over the bridge to the river. She is looking at a mountain of rubble. I say it's a mountain, but the pile isn't really that high. Steel frames and other things are piled up again, piled up a little below the water level, and it's only slightly disturbing the flow of the river. I don't know what happened, but some boat probably sank. Then pieces of it drifted here. I hear some of the neighboring residents have been complaining, trying to get rid of the pile since it's so unsightly. What is it, Saber? Did that catch your attention?
いえ、まだ残っていたのかと。あれの原因は私ですから。前回の戦いで水上戦を余儀なくされ、ここで宝具を使ってしまった。被害は川を干上がらせただけでしたが、運悪く停泊していた船を巻き込んでしまったのです。
Huh? Struck? With Excalibur? And we know how powerful that thing is.
そうなのですが、幸い乗客はいませんでしたし、被害も大きくなかったんです。川だって今では元通りですし、そう怒らなくてもいいではありませんか。私だって反省しているのですから。
I should be more careful. When we use Excalibur, I need to be mindful to use it somewhere where there is a lot of open space, like out here.
シロ、まだ怒っていますか？
Eh? No, I'm not mad. I was just surprised. Plus, it's a reminder that there are still remnants from the previous war. Compared to the wasteland and at the Central Park, the amount of rubble in this river is nothing. Though I get the ship's owner might not have come out that so great.
それはご安心を。船の持ち主には保険が下りたと桐次が言っていましたし、もともと緩衝材にするつもりで船を止めさせたのですから。船体を壁に見立てて宝具の威力を削いだのですね。
Must have been a big boat. Does that mean you destroyed the ship knowing it was there for that purpose?
承知していたわけではありません。あれは桐次が私に黙って用意していたものです。そうですね。桐次には戦いの流れが読めていたのでしょう。船を用意する前もその後も一言も口にしなかったので気がつきませんでしたが。
And then Saber looks down at the river, probably thinking back to that earlier Holy Grail war. The surface of the water glittered with reflected sunlight. The wind coming from the river fluttered Saber's hair.